I'm Nate Mullikin. I'm a group president for business identity and consumer products, and I'm also the executive sponsor for our Horizon transformation. I grew up in small towns in Wisconsin. I was born in Reedsburg, Wisconsin, which is where both of my parents are from. Spent my early childhood there. We then moved to Richland Center, Wisconsin, and then grew up in my early teens through high school in Arcadia, Wisconsin, which is what I would call home now. My parents still live there. Older brother and his family live there. I have 3 brothers, so 4 boys in the family. I am number 2 out of 4. My mom, as we say, is a saint, raising 4 boys, 4 very active boys. All of us played baseball, all of us played basketball, and obviously a variety of other activities that we were in between church and school activities, choir, only because we had to. None of us can sing to this day. But just a variety of things that kept the family busy. I'm reminded often about those days, and when my parents talk fondly about those days, of how stressful that phase of life can be, but how much you're going to miss it when it's gone. And we're actually in that phase of life now, my wife Elizabeth and I. My parents both came from very large families. My mom is 13th out of 18 kids. My father's one of 6 kids, I think it is. So came from very large families. So I can remember all the way back to very early days getting together for Christmas at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and there'd be 60 to 70 people there. Barely walking room to get through, playing cards, playing different games, having fun with the cousins. I think there's something like 50 first cousins or something like that on the one side of the family. Mom and Dad were terrific, and I mean, certainly made me into the human being I am today in a couple of different ways. Raising 4 boys, most of Mom's adult life was staying at home and getting us back and forth to school and to all the different activities that we were in. So, you know, her ability to show grace, show patience, but also keep us 4 boys in line is something that I certainly learned and try to mimic in some small way as a father. And she does the same with the grandkids today. I mean, she lights up every time she gets a chance to see one of the grandkids, whether that's them coming over or Grandma and Grandpa coming and experiencing one of the activities that they're in. I'm not sure they ever really moved out of that phase of running after kids, because they went quickly into running after grandkids. They don't miss too much. My dad was a plant manager for a dairy company in Wisconsin for many years. And that's why we ended up moving to a few different places in western Wisconsin, central and western Wisconsin, because he was working his way up in that industry and at that business. And for me, I see my track at Taylor being very similar to what my dad did. Started in a non-managerial role here at Taylor, and have been able to do some really amazing things. But what he taught me was how important hard work was, how important it was to raise your hand to take on new opportunities, willingness to take risks, right? Picking up your family and moving to a whole new city, however many miles away, because you've got a great opportunity, working incredibly long hours to be able to get the job done. I mean, I remember waking up for school and Dad was already gone, and him not coming back until we're about ready to go to bed. I mean, he instilled a lot from a work ethic perspective, just in the way that he showed up in going to work each and every day. But then in our activities too, in baseball, basketball, those types of things, he was the first one to make sure we were putting in the effort. He was the first one to say, "You're not quitting on this. You signed up for it. You need to be there. You need to show up for your teammates." All those types of things. So he instilled a real competitive, hardworking nature into us that is absolutely part of me today, and I respect the daylights on it. You'd jump on your bike in the morning and you'd bike to a friend's house and you'd play wiffle ball or basketball in the driveway. You'd bike around a little bit more and find a few more friends. And the next thing you know, it's after lunch or almost dinner time, and it's the old mom's hollering out the front window, hoping you hear her and you're 20 blocks away. You could do those types of things in a small town and kill a day and not even realize it, just hanging out with your friends. I fondly remember, what was it, 4 or 5 years in a row we made it to the state tournament, this little sleepy town of Arcadia, Wisconsin. We traveled to Stevens Point every summer to play in the state tournament, and we were never able to win it, but that doesn't mean we didn't have a terrific time as a team creating those types of milestones and going and playing at a big stadium and having a terrific time doing it. I mean, it's those types of things with friends and family that I think are probably the most memorable to me from a childhood perspective. So after high school, I moved across the river to Minnesota, and I now know never went back. So I went to college at Winona State. So in Winona, Minnesota, small state school, terrific school. Still love to get back to Winona when I can. Don't do it nearly as often as I would like to. But have some friends who have kids now going to Winona State, and love to hear about their experience there. I originally went to Winona State with a computer science major and quickly realized I did not want to program code for the rest of my life, and changed my major pretty quickly to business administration with a management information systems minor. So still staying in that technology realm that I still love today, quite honestly. But I loved my time at Winona. I had great professors. I think it's a well-run institution. I had a chance to start as a student worker really early at my time at Winona State, and then actually became a full-time state employee at Winona State when I think I was a sophomore in the technology department. So I had a chance to apply a lot of what I was learning in classes to what I did each and every day, which honestly really enhanced my overall experience and what it was I was learning. I loved spending time on the Mississippi River, which Winona is on. Loved running around both of the small lakes, hiking in the bluffs that are part of Winona. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful area. But the best part about my time in Winona is I met my wife there in college, and quickly learned she was from Mankato, Minnesota. I obviously knew of Taylor Corporation. It's not that far down the road. Mankato is not from Winona. And after a couple of years, my wife really wanted to get back, finish at MSU. I had already graduated. She preferred to finish at MSU and get back closer to family. And what happened shortly thereafter is I handed a resume over to Taylor Corporation and found myself interviewing with a variety of different leaders here within the organization. And one thing led to another, and I was ultimately hired to my first job post Winona State University. Fast forward to today, we have 4 children, Elizabeth and I do. 2 boys, 2 girls. 2 teenagers and 2 preteens, and we're doing exactly what we were taught, which is embrace this phase of life, even though it's insanely busy. So we do that. We remind each other of that quite often, but we do just that. I think the best thing about being a dad is getting the opportunity to observe the types of humans you're raising and the types of people they're becoming. My wife and I have always talked about the importance of kindness, well, putting in hard work and being a good person, but how important kindness really is. And you can see that resonate in our children in just a variety of different ways. That is probably the most fulfilling, both inside the house and outside the house. They're good friends. They're good kids. We know we can trust them and the decisions that they're making when we're not around. I think what I'll miss most is the little things. The family dinners at the table, where we have specific things we're just talking about as a family, what you enjoyed most about the day, what you loved about vacation, what's your favorite this, your favorite that. Those moments just as a family unit, I'll miss. The one-on-one conversations where you just get a chance to really understand how your kids think and what they enjoy and what brings them joy, what brings them grief. We'll certainly miss that. We'll miss getting a chance to watch and experience them do the things that they love. You hope that continues in a variety of different ways as they grow up and leave the house. The family movies that we tend to throw all the pillows and the blankets in the middle of the living room floor and throw on a movie that we all kind of want to watch. I mean, all of those little things that are really easy to take for granted. Those are the types of things that I think I'll miss the most. Family is just incredibly important to us. And you can use the old cliche of it takes a village or a family to raise a family. I mean, we've been blessed by both sides of our family being there for us through all the trials and tribulations that just come with life. We're blessed to have a very, very strong family around us. I would say one other thing that both sets of grandparents have taught us is that there's only one thing better than being parents, and that's being grandparents. They're both terrific grandparents, and they're every moment you need them. But they're also there for their grandkids and for us. Even those moments where you don't necessarily need them, but it's just an absolute joy to have them around. The years of being a parent and getting the kids to where they need to go are really, really difficult. You kind of think those pass you, and you quickly learn that as a grandparent, you miss them so much that you'll run around just as much as you did when you were raising your kids, being there for your grandkids. So someday, I can't wait for the opportunity to be a grandfather, because I hear it's even better than being a dad. We do a variety of things for fun. It typically starts with the activities that the kids are in, and we tend to drag them all along so that they can partake in as much as possible. That doesn't always happen. We find ourselves in different cities, like most people do with multiple children. But for fun, we have a camper in a lake nearby. It's a permanent camper, so we don't have to pull a thing. We bring stuff out for the long weekend. And get a chance just to chill with friends and go out on the lake, go to the pool and do a variety of different things, play volleyball, and spend time out there. That's probably what we do as a bit of a getaway most of the summer when we don't have kids' activities going on. We typically always make a trip to Florida. My in-laws have a winter home in Florida on the Gulf side, so we tend to spend a week down there sometime when it's cold, and make sure that we get the kids out doing some fun activity. The girls love to horseback ride, and if they can horseback ride on a beach, even better. The boys just love to be active in the sand, so we tend to find a volleyball game somewhere, or we go shark tooth hunting, which they love to do, or just find a nice restaurant on the water, get some great food, some fish tacos, things that you can't get here in Minnesota, and make the best of the warm weather. Road trips have always been something our families have loved to do, and something that's transcended into us, Elizabeth and I, taking our 4 kids and loading them up in the minivan and going on a road trip. So we've had them back and forth to Florida a few times, stopping a variety of different places along the way, typically to introduce them to something they haven't been introduced to before. For example, one of the early trips we did was we'd stop in Chicago and introduce them to the Navy Pier and to deep dish pizza, which none of them liked, unfortunately. And we'd stop in Nashville and introduce them to live music and barbecue. Fortunately, they kind of like that and put up with my barbecue nowadays too. And then Atlanta, which has a variety of different things to do, but the one that we all love to do, they've got an amazing aquarium, the largest in the United States. They're right in downtown Atlanta, so love that. And then when we get to Florida, there's a variety of things that we love to take them around and do. We've driven to Big Sky, Montana, and out through the South Dakota and the Badlands, and so we've done a variety of things, and we'll continue to do that. We're already planning our next road trip. So we love to do that too. But overwhelmingly, what keeps us busy and what we love to do today is just whatever the kids are into at that moment, and being there for them and cheering them on. I started at Taylor back on June 28th of 2004. So I just celebrated my 20th year this past June, which is crazy to even say because time has really flown by. I started in what is now called Navitor Midwest. Back then it was called Carlson Craft Business Solutions Group. And I started without a title. Actually, what they called me was a bench player, which was interesting. But to the organization's credit, my first couple of months were spent in each area of the business, getting a chance to learn them. So I started in customer service. I listened on phone calls where customer service reps were taking care of customers, everything from the great calls to the not so great calls that are inevitable in that area. Then went down to pre-press and spent some time in pre-press, and then plating, out in manufacturing, all the different areas in manufacturing. Even had a chance to run a 2-color AB Dick. One of the first days that I was out there, they quickly realized I was no good at that. Didn't take long at all. In finishing, in shipping, in marketing, just to get a chance to immerse myself and really understand the business. I mean, the leadership at the time and the organization just in general knew that the more I knew about the business, the more successful I was going to be in whatever role I went into. What I was steadfast in saying as I interviewed was, I've got a technology background, but so use that to drive as much benefit as you can. But what I really want to do is run one of the businesses one day. So after I came out of my tour of learning the business, I stepped into a bit of a technology role, business technology role, where they would talk about different problems they were having from a technology perspective, and I'd do my best to try to fix them. But shortly thereafter, a pre-press department manager role came open, and I had a chance to go into a pre-press area that when I started I think was 150 people, preparing all the files that were going to go out to the different Navitor locations. But a business and an area that needed a real technology focus because it was too costly to have that many people preparing files. And we just needed to bring some new, efficient, and effective methods to what it is Navitor was doing. And I had a blast doing that with the team around me. We did a variety of things that got that area and the business back on more stable footing. What I learned the most in that initial role, quite honestly, from the supervisors that reported into me and the other managers and leaders around me, was the difference between management and leadership. And I came out of an environment at Winona State University, a union environment, and this vibrant college environment where you could do a variety of things within a small window in a union environment, to a place where I could do a variety of different things because I was expected as a department manager to really drive value and drive opportunity and security. I didn't have a ton of actual leadership experience, so in many respects I learned the hard way on how to really truly get people to follow you and to get things done. So fondly remember my first 2 years at Navitor that really groomed me, I think, to really grow within the organization. After that, and about 4 or 5 years in, I had the opportunity to go run operations, become the general manager at CGI North, what's now called Taylor Corporate Identity and Branding. So my first opportunity to really run a business, and a highly successful business, a leader that had been there for a long, long time, a great team. And so I had my first opportunity to try to fill some very big shoes and make sure that I didn't mess up what was a very good thing and a very well-run business at CGI. And we were able to do that and also evolve the business from tremendous amount of PMS offset printing into the digital world. Had a chance to work with some great technology people on a technology we still use today here at Taylor Corporation. From there, I went and added our New Jersey CGI location to my realm of responsibility and learned the challenge of leading different teams in different areas that are motivated by different things. From there, I went to our sales leader, who's now retired at CGI, was making a change. He got a promotion within the organization, and he came to me as that transpired, and he said, "Nate, if you really want to grow at Taylor, you need to jump out of your operational box, and you need to round yourself out and really learn sales and sales leadership," which at the time was unnerving, but also probably one of those pivotal moments in my Taylor career that really allowed me to round myself out, get out of that box of you're just an ops individual or ops leader or technology leader, learn a completely new aspect, spend way more time with customers, identify how you can grow business and support existing customers, and it was a thrill. I mean, what I learned is I loved the thrill of the hunt as much as I loved ironing out operational processes and making money on the back end of the business. So a real credit to even more leaders on my Taylor journey for really getting me to jump out of that comfort zone and into something that was new to me. After that, Taylor restructured a little bit and put the stationary companies together, and I was asked to lead those, and that's the combination of CGI and Navitor, so two businesses that I knew really, really well. And there was a variety of conversation about how we produce the same things in a variety of different facilities around the United States, yet we don't really optimize all of the different stationary assets that we have, right? Completely different papers in all of these different facilities, completely different processes and technologies. And we certainly felt there was an opportunity to drive benefits to the organization, but also grow at the very same time. And I was asked to lead that and bring those two businesses together. And it was a tale of two very different businesses. CGI still operating really, really well, growing, highly profitable. Navitor not in the same space, actually declining and unprofitable. So I then had the opportunity to figure out how to turn around one of the businesses and also bring them more closely together. And I think the biggest thing there for me was, the biggest learning there for me was how important it was to surround yourself with the right leadership to get those types of things done. And to this day, several of those leaders are still part of my team and still performing in a very, very high way. After that is when I was asked to take on this role of enterprise group president as part of the Taylor United changes that came into play. And I get a chance to do all of the things that I've learned over the course of my 20 years here, and identify ways to create opportunity and security for our employees. It's a script, a 20-year script, quite honestly, that I never would imagine. I know I asked when I was interviewing at Taylor that I wanted to run one of the businesses one day, and I actually am on record as saying when I got that first opportunity to be the general manager at CGI that I could retire in that position, right? I got to what it was I wanted to do. Never did I imagine I would be running multiple businesses and supporting the employees that I support today, and a horizon transformation like I support today. I'm incredibly grateful. It's a blessing to be in the role I am today. In its simplest form, when you look at our roles as senior leaders in the organization, there's really two things that we do. Get past the title for just a moment. There are two things that we need to really focus on. It's how we support our employees to do their best work and how we help fix problems. And yeah, there are problems each and every day. And you can dwell on those problems, or you can embrace the fact that you've got some things to do to be able to make it a better place for your employees, for yourself, for your team, for your customers. It's that competitive nature that we talked about before that continues to come out in a very different way. It's no longer in youth sports. It's now in making sure you're bettering the lives around you, whether that's your employees or your customers. There are so many people in this organization that have allowed me to become the leader that I am and get to the position that I am today, and I'm incredibly grateful for that too.